When I cry, that's the love overflowing, the love overflowing from you. When I cry, that's the love overflowing, the love overflowing from you. What can I say? How can I thank you for the day? Oh God, my blessings are overflowing now. No words, oh, no words, oh, you already know the secrets of my soul, 'cause I'm a part of you. No words, oh, no words, oh, you're the sacred truth in everything I see and everything I ever do. When I sing, that's the song overflowing, the song overflowing from you. When I sing, that's the song overflowing, the song overflowing from you. What can I say? How can I thank you for the day? Oh God, my blessings are overflowing. My blessings are overflowing. My blessings are overflowing now. No words, oh, no words, oh, no words, oh, no words, oh.
So top of the hour to everybody. Happy New Year. Happy New Year. Welcome to Unity of Palm Harbor. And today is filled with Unity rituals. We don't often do a lot of rituals, but one of our very favorite services is the Burning Bowl service. And if you've never done this before, we're going to go through a little message, and then we're going to go through a meditation. And today you should have a very thin piece of paper in your hand. That's the one you're going to burn. Then you might have another piece of paper or an index card, and it's going to be your letter to God. So first we burn what we do not want to bring in the new year, and then we set our intention, our letter to our God self about what we do want for the new year. So I invite you to make sure you burn the right paper. Make sure when you are letting go of what no longer serves you, that is not the paper you're writing your intention on. Besides, we don't want to burn down the sanctuary. So we have a very special burn paper, and just to let you know, I ordered the paper, and Reverend Marilyn, who's very savvy at this, she said to me, you know, it often comes packed in a little water, and you have to thoroughly dry it out before you can use it. So mine didn't come, and Marilyn took a trip up to Port Richey to get our paper, and then mine came, of course. So I opened it up in my mailbox, and she's right. It's kind of like if you use Windex, it's kind of that kind of wet. And I'm looking around the house going, well, how hot does it have to get to self-inflame? Like, I don't want to burn down my house either. So I get this aluminum foil pan, and I'm drying it out where my dogs can't get it either. I'm sure it's not good for their digestion system. And then Marilyn has it all set up here when I get here. So I said, where do we store this? I don't want to burn the church down either. So we are going to hold the right and perfect intention that we release everything that we do not want to carry forward with us in the new year, and that we set our beautiful intention, we call it the letters to God, and you will put that in an envelope, self-address it, and seal it. I'll give you the instructions again before we get started. If you will put that, leave it with us in the basket at the end of service, we will mail it back to you around September, October, and you can see if those intentions came true for you. Now remember, the law of non-attachment says we set that intention, we get out of the way and we let God. Yes? Does that sound like a good thought for the new year? Absolutely. So, in setting our intention today, the 12 powers is a unity practice, and each one of these little candles represents one of the disciples. And each one of the disciples has a characteristic or a trait. And you might understand John represents love. And today I have Matthew represents will. And that's the divine will. When we go inside and we ask for our guidance, what is mine to do? We are getting still and quiet, and we are asking for that inner spirit, our divine will, to show up for us fully. Now, if you might notice, one of the other little 11 is probably Judas because it won't light up. You know, there's always a rebel. Always a rebel. So we're just going to surround this as a perfect ritual that we understand what divine will means for each one of us. So let us open in prayer. And I invite you to close those outer eyes, to just soak in this moment. Maybe take a nice breath in. Welcome to the new year. Welcome to new beginnings. Welcome to leaving old patterns behind, and welcome to the new patterns we interject so that we know and better understand our own relationship with the joy and life and love and blessings of all from that Creator that ever has been, ever will be, that we are a part of. We are so blessed. We are so grateful. We are thankful for each and every person in here, each and every person who will watch this video later, and each and every person whose life we come into contact with, where we are able to show up as that beautiful Spirit of God, that pure expression of divine light. We know and we feel that within our heart space, and we let that circulate throughout our body, throughout our cells. We allow that to become our outer glow as well as our inner glow. And for this, we are truly grateful. And we say, thank you, Spirit of all. Thank you for the God of my being. Thank you for everyone physically and mentally and emotionally present here today. And for this blessing, we say amen. Amen. I want to share another little piece with you. Greg and I were talking a couple weeks ago. All of our platform assistants had an opportunity to come have a little lunch with the minister and tell me what's working and maybe what's not working as well. And so far, we're all riding on an A, so that's good. I think everybody who's a part of it is really enjoying coming up here and expressing who they are as to you as part of the family. And I mentioned I had been to another church, and they were introducing little pieces of unity, so we know why we're a unity church, not just a new thought church or a new age church. So what I want to introduce you to today, for those who may not know, Lowell Fillmore was the eldest of 3 sons to Myrtle and Charles, and Myrtle and Charles are our co-founders. And Lowell took on the job of being the president after his father retired. And you can imagine when you birth something, when something is true for you, it's hard to give it up, you know? And so at one point, he finally stepped back and allowed Lowell to come in. Now, Lowell was about spreading the word of unity, because what do we say about unity often? It's the best kept secret. Right. Well, let's not be a secret anymore. Let's shout from the rooftops. Let's go on top of the mountain. Let's tell people what works in our life. So, Lowell Fillmore decided he was going to talk to the President of the United States. And in doing so, actually, to the United States Department of Justice, he wrote Hoover a letter. Now, you can imagine when Hoover first came into power, people weren't sure about what this meant. Was he a good guy? Was he a bad guy? Was he chasing the right people? Was he disrupting the flow of people who were coming forward who were showing who they were and their expression in the world. So Lowell Fillmore writes a letter to Mr. Hoover, and he writes back, I did want to write this personal note to thank you for your kindness in presenting to me a copy of the premiere edition of The Household of Faith by James Dillett Freeman. He's known as one of our poet baccalaureates. Beautiful writings, A Prayer for Protection that you'll read together at the end of the service, that's his. So Hoover says this, you were indeed very thoughtful in sending this volume with your good wishes, and I'm looking forward to the opportunity of reading it. Sincerely yours. Did it make a difference in his life? We'll hold it in the ethers that it did, that it made a positive difference, and that Lowell Fillmore, as the senior son of the Fillmores, was carrying that torch forward until his retirement, which was only about 20 years ago. So at this day and time, none of the original Fillmores are on the campus, but their light shines in and through each one of us and through the teachings that we bring forward. And with that being said, I think I'd like to invite our musicians forward.
Happy New Year. You might know this song. I invite you to join and stand if you're able. So there was a time in my life I thought I had to do it all for myself. I didn't know the grace of God was sufficient. I didn't know the love of God was at hand. But now I can say, if you are discouraged, struggling just to make it through another day, you've got to let it go. Let it all go. And this is what you have to say. I release and I let go. I let the Spirit run my life. And my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. I release and I let go. I let the Spirit run my life. And my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. Let's release and let's let go. Let's let the Spirit run our lives. And our hearts are open wide. Yes, we're only here for God. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God.
Good morning, everybody. Happy New Year. Yeah, what an awesome song to start the new year. Definitely one of my favorites, Ricky Byers-Beckwith's song, if you're familiar with her. I was just listening to some agape music on the way down here, so yeah, that was awesome. Thank you. All right. So, I was sitting there in that chair, and I was thinking to myself, maybe we should give a little thanks for 2022 and all the lessons and the blessings that 2022 gave us, all the experiences that helped us to grow, some of the challenges we were able to make it through. the love that we received in our lives this year, the people that came into our lives, all the experiences we've had here at Unity of Palm Harbor. So maybe we can why don't we have a little celebration right in this moment for 2022? All right, all right. Thank you, 2022. Okay. And this Wednesday, I will be facilitating the breath work with gong meditation. And I want to let you know that coming into a new year, as we are right now, breath work especially is so helpful for helping you to not only release, but to manifest things that you're trying to bring into your life. So come on out on Wednesday night, and it'd be a great way to start your new year. We're going to be definitely looking to inspire our creativity, and that's going to be the focus for the class, is creativity and how we can unlock our gifts and really share them more in the new year. So come on out and join us. That's Wednesday at 7. Save this date, January 19th from 2 to 4 p.m. We have a special workshop on meditation being facilitated by one of Reverend Tracey's classmates, Reverend Karen Patrick, who is coming from Asheville, North Carolina, to be with us. This workshop will be focusing on stabilizing in spiritual practice, releasing blocks of fears and doubts, and experiencing prayer as trusting the voice of presence. And Reverend Tracey is going to be facilitating a Unity class called Self-Care. This is for credit if you're working towards becoming a licensed Unity teacher or simply deepening your spiritual practices. Sign up in the lobby. The class begins on January 24th, and it will be a 6-week class from 2 p.m. to 3:30. Reverend Tracey has a special guest minister from San Diego coming in for the February 14th class. It will be open to everyone, so mark your calendars. New year. So as you can see, we're hitting 2023 with a lot of momentum. Come and join in on a lot of these special things we're doing, and it's going to really help to just launch you into the new year. So with that, we'll go ahead and say our mission statement together. Together to advance well-being by sharing compassion and inclusiveness with integrity and spirituality. Is fresh start. I love this daily word. I read it earlier and I was like, I can't wait to share this with you all. Centered in God, I create a fresh new life. I begin this year with renewed enthusiasm and a fresh perspective. I feel vibrantly alive as I realize that all the love, wisdom, energy, and strength of God are mine to express in my life right now. Grateful for the lessons of life experience, I release past disappointments with a forgiving heart. I find harmony in my relationships as I look beyond differences and focus on the divine life and love that unite all people. I go about my work seeking to serve others with a humble heart. I find ways to develop and evolve my skills and nurture my talents, allowing me to continue to grow and to learn. This year, I will thrive in all areas of my life as I feel God's presence everywhere I go in everything I do. And the one who was seated on the throne said, "See, I am making all things new," Revelation 21:5. And I love this affirmation, which I'm going to just read one more time. This year, I will thrive in all areas of my life as I feel God's presence everywhere I go and in everything I do.
Have you ever felt it could all go away if you blink? If you never stop running, you won't fall behind, or so you think. And you wonder in your heart if you're still not who you are. Who are you? Nothing's as it seems till it all falls apart. If you have a dream, go chase it. If you feel hope, don't waste it. If you find love, embrace embrace it. Never take a single breath for granted. The story's yours, go write it. Tomorrow is undecided. Our days are counted on this planet. Never take a single breath, take a single breath for granted. Maybe it's time you bet on yourself. Listen to your heart, just listen to your heart and nobody else. So go find out who you are, only you know who you are. Who are you? 'Cause all you have to lose is your best life yet. So go ahead. Have a dream, go chase it. If you feel hope, don't waste it. If you find love, embrace it. Never take a single breath for granted. The story's yours, go write it. Tomorrow is undecided. Our days are counted on this planet. So never take a single breath, take a single breath for granted. Sometimes our greatest moments we'll ever know are when we're letting go. So let go. And maybe our finest days still wait for us in the unknown. Dream, go chase it. If you feel hope, don't waste it. If you find love, embrace it. Never take a single breath for granted. If you have a light, go shine it. Tomorrow is undecided. Our days are counted on this planet. So never take a single breath, take a single breath for granted.
Thank you, Joy, and thank you, Jane. And I just love Josh Groban. You know, I don't know if he writes his own songs or someone writes them and he brings them to expression. And then we have the talent on our stage who brings them to you. And we just don't know. We don't know what we don't know, so we need to embrace the fullness of life in every moment. Because many of us, probably this past year, and I appreciate what Greg said, let's thank 2022 for being our teacher. And there are some of us who lost somebody dear in 2022, and we don't know. So take each moment, breathe in each moment, and make it this very moment, this very present moment, because that is the only moment that matters right here, right now. Right here, right now. So in preparing for today's lesson, when I was in Atlanta about a month ago, I was picking up some books for my stepfather. Now, there's nothing in the world he needs, and we are practicing a little bit different in our faith today. He was with my mother for over 30 years practicing unity, And so he was brought up in the Presbyterian church. They married in the office of the Presbyterian minister. Then Mom was on her search in Unity, and he followed her and helped create the actual Unity in Santa Fe where they meet. And so about 30 years of doing this, and Mom made her transition, and he didn't want to be alone and attracted another beautiful female in his life, and she's Southern Baptist. So he writes to me and says, I'm going in the dunk tank. And I went, the what? And so he's been dunked, and he's been Presbyterianized, and he's been unitized. I think he's got it going on. So for his 80th birthday, which is the reason I went to Atlanta, I thought I'm going to pick up some books. And y'all probably know this one, Viktor Frankl, Yes to Life. Now, if you don't know who this is a gentleman who went through the atrocities of death camps, the concentration camps. His wife was pregnant, and he lost her to the camp. He lost both of his parents to the camp, and yet he still held out hope for humankind. So I want to share some of his wisdom with you as we are entering this new year. He says, I once had two world-weary people sitting opposite me, as chance would have it, at the same time, a man and a woman. Both had stated in complete agreement, word for word, that their own lives were now meaningless, that they no longer expected anything of life. Somehow, both seemed to be right. It soon emerged, however, conversely, something was waiting for each one of them. The man, a scientific work that was unfinished, and for the woman, a child who was living abroad far away and out of reach. At this point, it would be helpful, he says, that to perform a Copernican revolution, a conceptual turn 180 degrees, after which the question can no longer be that we might ask ourselves, what can I expect from life? But rather, what does life expect of me? Let me say it again. No longer do we say, what can I expect from life? But rather the question becomes, what does life expect of me? Now, when we're talking in unity terms, we might call God life. We might call that spirit, that breath, that inner being, that utmost of who each one of us are and is, our own expression brings forth life. The life we choose for it to bring forward. Now, we also understand how in the final analysis, the question of the meaning of life is not asked in the right way. Generally, it's asked, it is not we who are permitted to ask the question about the meaning. If life that asks the question directs the questions at us, we become the ones who are questioned. So instead of us looking outside of who we are, what is the meaning of life, it becomes very introspective. What meaning are we giving to the life that we are now leading? We are the ones who must answer this. Living itself means nothing other than being questioned. Our whole act of being is nothing more than responding to or being responsible for our own reactions in life. With this mental standpoint, nothing can scare us anymore. There's no apparent lack of future, no future if we stay in the present tense. If we look too far out there to the future, we might become overwhelmed. We might become anxious. We might not know what that future holds for us because we all know as we are busy making plans, well thought out, well-intentioned plans, they often change. And that brings up fear for some of us. So in this very present moment, Victor is saying, have no plans that go too far out there. And don't look too far back in the past. Those stories of our childhood, they no longer serve us. We're now, most of us, 40s, 50s, 60s, and above. We've already been there. We've already done that. Our friends are bored with that story. Are you not bored with that story yet? Are you ready to create something new? Yes. Today, in this world, in this lifetime, in this year, in this moment, we declare our good, our new, our favoritism. We declare that spirit that rides inside each one of us, that we are ready to bring it forward. So we are going to release our past. And if it has to be ever so gently, that you nourish that inner child that's within you, the one that has suffered when someone either intentionally or unintentionally, because the only suffering we have is when we are attached to what is going on that is not looking like the way we want it to. And the only shift that can happen is the one that we create in our own mindsets, because the stuff happened. You can't change it. Let it go. Let it go. Let God in there somewhere. That is our mission. So if you should choose to accept that mission this lifetime, this moment, this January 1st, this new year, we let go of the hurts. We let go of the pains. Today you're going to have a moment where you get to come up here and you get to burn all that away. Like the beautiful, when the ashes are nothing left and the field becomes the new grain for the new year. We have the power to create anything and everything that we want. Anything, everything that our heart desires. And we know that desire is a divine idea, especially when it comes in and through us and benefits not only us, but the people that we are sharing this journey with. Now, everything depends on what is expected of us. Sometimes we have those thoughts. Does everything depend on someone else's expectations of us? What is your answer to that question? Does everything depend on your own expectations of yourself? Do some of us raise that bar so high that even we aren't going to meet it the first time? Maybe the next time. Maybe we can give ourselves a break. Maybe we can just accept exactly who we are and strive for that next level. Have you heard that whole thing, birds of a feather flock together? Well, if you want to do something incredible, when it was wonderful that Gabriel Nelson came to visit us about a year ago, and Greg stood up and said, I want to take a class. I want to get a little better at this. I want to become more proficient at this. And more than that, if you do anything in the sound ministry, it's an experience. It's never created exactly twice. So if you're a performer, if you're a dancer, if you are someone who knows the discipline to an art, sometimes you let that expectation go and you allow that sound, whatever magic that is coming through in that moment, in that present moment. If you've never taken a class with Deborah Laron in the back, same thing. I listened to her. She brings forth these words, but no class is the same. If you're here doing yoga with Lenka, no class is the same. You are in a different place every time you enter this sanctuary. You're in a different place each time you come together with like-minded beings. You are in a different place today than you will be tomorrow, than you will be next week and next year. But today, in this moment, in this present moment, we are the fullness of that light expression that we came to be. And we might partner up with people that we like what they're doing. And you will pull a piece of that into your sphere. But you will still become who you are meant to be, because you can't be anybody else. And you're not supposed to be. Can you imagine? If you would imagine this crystal, this diamond, this majestic light out there, and each beam is you, it takes all the beams together to be that light. Whether it's purple or red or orange, or we can't see it, or we can't hear the sounds that animals can hear. But all of that is the majesty of the universe, and we are part of it. That is magnificent. And you are made in and of that same light as what we call the God of our beings. There is no separation. Even when you turned off the light switch and you closed the door and you buried your head under the pillows because life wasn't going your way. That's on you, because that energy form is all around you all the time. That's what we mean when we talk about the omnipresent, the one that knows all, sees all, is all. You are that. Sometimes you forget. Sometimes I forget. And that's why we come together in community and we listen to the teachings and we read the books and we play in the music, and we feel what's in our heart space, and we bring that forward. Viktor Frankl says, even if you have an idea what you think your role is in life, do not be constricted, do not be limited, do not let these obstacles that appear in the world stand in your way, because the truth is you are so much more. The hope that he held out when he talked to people in the concentration camps was that hope of something even greater than where they were at that moment. And I'll share another story. A black man who had been sentenced to life imprisonment was deported to Devil's Island. When the ship was on the high seas, a fire broke out. Due to the situation, the prisoner was released from his shackles and took part in the rescue work. He saved 10 lives. As a result, he was later pardoned. I ask you, if one has asked this man before embarking on this journey, in fact, on the quay of Marseille, whether continuing to live could have any kind of meaning for him, he would have shaken his head. What possibly could be waiting for him? What possibly could be waiting for him? But none of us knows what is waiting for us, what big moment, what unique opportunity for acting in an exceptional way. We don't know. We think we know, we plan, we spend a lot of time putting our ideas together, and yet sometimes, beyond our own imagination, something more fabulous than we can ever imagine breaks through and says, now it's your turn, now it's your time. Just like the rescue of the 10 people by this man who thought he was going to a life of imprisonment. What imprisons you? What do you allow to be the obstacle in your life so that you don't even take a chance on something new? What is it about you that loves this comfort box that says, I know how to do this like the back of my hand? Anybody ever here, you're someplace, you don't even have to think about driving home. It's like your car knows the way because you already know this. It's so easy. It's comfortable when it's easy. And then a new idea sparks, and it's new. Maybe you've never done it before. Maybe you were so content that you knew how to do what you knew how to do, and we call that a pattern. So I'm inviting everybody this year here that is participating fully in life at Unity of Palm Harbor to change one pattern, to allow one pattern in your life to shift, to open up a little bit more, so that you might expand in your own personal consciousness, your own walk with Spirit, because when you expand, guess what happens to the rest of us? We expand too. Right. That like energy attracts. When you like something, when you're really excited about something, do you nudge your friend and say, come on, go with me. This is fun. And your friend goes, oh my gosh, let me tell this person and that person. And all of a sudden, we got a concert hall full of people. And they're enjoying what's going on. Because that is your energy inviting another energy in. The ones that don't resonate won't come. But can you imagine if we filled this place up with your friends? How fun would that be? Greg invites us to do it all the time. He looks right out here and says, I want to meet your friends. Come on. Bring them. Let's do it. We do this in our sound ministry. We do this in our classes. We do this on Sunday morning. So Christmas Day, for those of you who were not here, I knew we had a group of people who had lost a significant other in the past year. And I knew that 4 people especially were not necessarily looking forward to the holidays. It was going to be their first Christmas without someone they love very deeply. So in a small group, we talked about how can we be there and support those folks. And if you were here, we had 3 long tables out there and 4 crock pots full of chilies and vegetarian soup. And the most fun about that, which I think we're missing, is that we were all seated, and I met 2 brand new people that day. And they were excited to be here. I thought, wow, I know we're missing fellowship. I know we're 6 to 9 months out with the new building. But we have the power to create fellowship every time we step in that hall, every time we step in this room, every time we step outside those doors. Make that phone call. Make your friend. Go have breakfast. You're not limited to four walls. This is how we come together as a family. So before I get too far along that road, I do want to share, because we have a specific purpose today, and it's all about letting go. Letting go of that which no longer serves us. Letting go of anything unlike love. So in Matthew 6:25, if we want to let go of anxiety or control issues or having to know how things happen, if we want to interrupt the very pattern that might keep us limited or stuck, therefore I tell you, do not be anxious about your life, what you shall eat or what you shall drink, nor about your body and what you shall put on. Is life not more than food, and the body more than clothing? And which of you, by being anxious, can add 1 cubit to his span of life? Have you ever done that after the fact? You have been so perplexed, you have been so caught up in the moment, and all of a sudden, when it's all over, because this too shall pass, it will pass, you look back and you say, man, that was a waste of time. That was a waste of energy. The hair's a little more silver, the stomach's a little more knotted. Now I got a doctor's appointment. What 1 cubit added to your life because you were worried about stuff that's going to float on by, right? We have the power, we have the knowledge, we have the authority to claim what we want, and we still get stuck. That is our human nature. Our human nature. Another one. If you are filled with judgment or self-righteousness or blame or criticism, you might take these words into consideration. Judge not that ye not be judged, for within the judgment you pronounce you will be judged. Have you ever noticed that? You're pointing at somebody else. What are those other fingers doing? Yeah, and how many more? A lot more than that one that you thought you were pointing at that person. So why do you see the speck that is in your brother's eye, but do not notice the log that is in your eye? I know nobody here's ever done that before. You are so quick to say what they need to be doing. And then you go home and go, oh, maybe I need to clean my own house first. So we can let go of that judgment, that self-righteousness, that criticism, that telling other people what to do, and stay in our lane. Stay in our lane, in a good way, in a good way. Let's see, Corinthians has something to share with us as well. So it is with the resurrection of the dead. What is sown is perishable, and what is raised is imperishable. It is sown in dishonor, but raised in glory. Sown in weakness and raised in power. Sown in the physical body and raised in the spiritual body. So what are we talking about? We are spiritual beings having a human experience. We mess up. Today you have the opportunity to let that go. If you want to say that I'm going to rise from the dead, if I'm going to let go of my old habits, the things that no longer serve me, I am going to rise in that power-filled spiritual being. I am going to acknowledge that divine part of myself, because after we let go, we're going to write to our God selves. We're going to open that door, and we're going to open that channel for good. And we're going to recognize we make mistakes. We burned them. See ya. What are the Italians? Mwah! There's probably some other finger things they do, but I'm not going to do those. So we are going to take a few moments after the meditation, and we are going to release what no longer serves us, and I invite you one at a time. Please make sure you bring the right paper up here. It's the real thin one. So if you'll pull those pieces of paper up, show everybody so we know you know what we're talking about, and maybe have a pen or a pencil. And I'm going to take you through a meditation, and then as we finish, I'm going to invite you one at a time to come up here. Now, let me promise you, it's kind of like fire walking. You don't stay in the fire. So you will bring that piece of paper forward, and you will drop it, and you can stand back, but then move on because other people want to burn their dross too, right? We don't want to hold on to anything. Be not attached to that piece of paper, but make sure you put it in the fire, okay? Okay, so let's just take this moment and prepare for meditation. Taking a nice breath in, I invite you to feel your feet firmly on the ground. Feel Mother Earth beneath you. Know that the sky is above you and all around you is spirit. In and through you, you are spirit. You are of that same essence, that God essence that loves and breathes and has life through you as its own creation. We have the opportunity today to let go anything unlike love. We have the opportunity to cast aside judgment, blame, criticism, negative thinking. And we're going to open that door and write those words, because words have power. And as we put them on our paper and we bring them to the fire, we release them. And after we do that, we will take the next piece of paper and write a letter. And that letter will be filled with love. And that letter will be filled with our God self, acknowledging the potential and the power and the gratitude for each one of us showing up as that light. So as Joy plays the piano, I invite you to look inside. What are you ready to release now and forevermore? And take a few moments and then come forward and burn the dross. Who was seated on the throne said, "See, I am making all things new." I am making all things new. I release and I let go. There are no chains that bind me. I am not limited by any thoughts of judgment or self-righteousness or anger or resentment. We burn it all away. Like the phoenix rising from the ashes, we release and we let God. We let go. And we allow the spirit of our being to come forward. We do this individually and we do this collectively. I release and I let go. There are no chains that bind me. And I dwell in the house of the Lord Spirit forever. In my own divine essence, I bring nothing forward that holds me back. It'll light. Individually and collectively, we release and we let go. Your intention touches one another, and so it is done, and it is thorough. I release, and I let go. There are no chains that bind me. There are no obstacles in my life. I release and I let go. It'll catch. It'll catch. We leave behind. Whoops, let go, let go. Don't hold too close. You don't want it to go with you. Just let go. It's like the firewalk. You know how to get on, you know how to get off. Let go. There you go. It'll catch. Collectively, consciously, with great intention, we are releasing all that no longer serves us. Anything unlike love. Thank you, my teachers. Now it's time to go. I release and I let go. There are no chains that bind me. There are no chains in this community binding us. I release and I let go. I release and I let go. Beautiful. Wow. That had to grab about 4 of them. We do it individually and we do it collectively. Go ahead. It'll catch. The one right behind you might be your collectiveness. So in this same moment, I'm going to ask Joy to play just a little bit longer as each one of you now goes into that sacred space. Pull out your other sheet of paper and know that you are that divine expression. And whatever support you are looking for in this new year, you already have it. Write a word, a phrase, a letter. And then I invite you to lovingly sign that letter, put your address on the outside of the envelope, and turn it into the ushers at the end of service. Centered in God, I create a fresh new life. I begin this year with renewed enthusiasm and a fresh perspective. I am vibrantly alive. I realize that all the love, wisdom, energy, and strength of God are mine to express today and every day. I call on my servant's heart to know the people I come in contact with are equally that same expression of God. I see in them me. I see in me them. Our connection is whole and complete. I serve this community with great joy and enthusiasm. I serve in my own life with great joy and enthusiasm. I build dreams. I make plans. And I allow space for God. I am willing to interrupt my patterns to create something new, to better understand my walk, my journey, and the collective consciousness with all. We'll end with Isaiah. Remember not the former things, nor consider the things of old. Behold, I am doing a new thing. Now it springs forth. Do you not perceive it? I will make a way in the wilderness and rivers in the desert. For we know sometimes the most unusual things happen beyond our imagination. We let go and we let God as we walk forward in our journey in 2023. May you be blessed. May you know the wholeness of spirit that each one of you is. And may we do it together, collectively, consciously. Amen.
Beautiful, thank you. Is there anybody better to bring in the new year with than Reverend Tracey for possibility and enthusiasm, right? Absolutely. Thank you. All right, well, now is that time when we share our gifts, our tithes, our offerings with this ministry. And I'm going to go ahead and call our ushers forth. So go ahead and take your offering in your hand. And together, divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive.
This is the year for making changes. This is the year for moving on. This is the year of overcoming. This is the year of growing strong. This is the year for a new way of thinking. This is the year for making plans. This is the year for reaching out. And this is the year for joining hands. Gone are the lonely nights of yearning. Gone are the dark and cloudy skies. All the unsteady bridges burning, all of the doubts and all the lies. This is the chance to recapture the power. This is the time to abandon the fear. This is the moment, the finest hour. This is the year, this is the year. This is the year that I put into action all my desires and all of my means. This is the year that I follow my passion. This is the year of my dreams. This is the year I'm letting go of trying to change the ones I love. This is the year I turn it over. This is the year I look above. This is the year that I take my intention, turn it away from distraction and talk. This is the year I take the step, and this is the year I walk the walk. This is the year that I put into action all my desires and all of my needs. This is the year that I follow my passion. This is the year of my dreams. This is the year I make it happen. This is the year I follow through. This is the year I move ahead on all of the things I want to do. This is the chance to renew my commitment. This is the time to be conscious and clear. This is the moment of living fully. This is the year. This is the year. This is the year. This is the year.
All right, looks like we have some children coming to the front here. Come on in.
You are walking in the light, in the light, in the light. You are walking in the light of God. In the light, 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 in the light of God.
Oh, let's do the prayer of protection first.
Yeah.
If you would all stand
Thank you.
and join us together. The
Light
light
of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is. Amen.
Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant